This is going to cost upward of 70,000-80,000 yen, even including shipping cost, especially for those of you living on the other side of the planet. This is why your wallet Owari da. The end of your wallet is finished. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven with your weekly figure news fix. This time around 10th to 15th of November 2025. For this week, we have way too much good stuff going on that, yes, your wallets will be crying again. So many new stuff on the genuine side of anime figures. Meanwhile, on the third party side, quite a bit lesser, but this is still a pretty heavy week. We shall move to Hobby Link Japan for all of the new scale figures on pre-order this week. Our first section over here. If you see the occasional link appearing on the top right corner of your video and you are interested in pre-ordering or purchasing any figures from HLJ or OSGK, you can click on that link, or you can also use the link down in the descriptions below. Those are affiliate links, and that is how you support this channel without paying a single cent in extra money. Yeah. So the first one here, life-sized 1x1 scale Okami Amaterasu life-sized bust by first 4 figures, 190,000 yen, releasing in January 2026. 2 months away, 1.5 months away. Insane, man. I wonder how are they so confident to make something that is so niche, not many people are going to purchase or pre-order this, and release it in 2 months. I mean, they have to be really confident that they got their quantities right. They won't overproduce it, they won't underproduce it to meet the demand. Yeah, very brave, because if it is only taking the company 2 months to get this thing out, it means that the figure is likely already in production even before they started pre-order opening. That is a very ballsy move, a very brave move coming from this brand. It is like their confidence that the amounts they made is just the right number. Yeah. So, life-sized, this has to be huge, but not my kind of thing. I love Fox Girls, but not the Fox itself. Right, moving on to the next one here. Now we are in 1x4 scale territory. So this Marin Kitagawa figure, which came out quite a while ago, we are getting a bare leg version. No stockings, but same price, 30,000 yen. February release. So one thing I find it funny about these bare leg figures, right, which is like a re-release, but without the stockings, you are kind of paying the same amount of money but getting less. I suppose that it is a cancellation for people who missed out on the first release, but still, I'm not sure what to think about it. Yeah, paying more for less. Marin Kitagawa 1x4 scales, I suppose that this is one of the cheaper ones. If you buy the third parties at 1x4, they are going to be quite a lot more expensive. Not to mention, no third party figures. Especially if Marin Kitagawa, not many brands can get her face right for some reason, even though price figure brands like Taito have no problems at all. So this could potentially be a good purchase, I guess, potentially, but it is a figure too simple for my taste. Moving on to the next one here, we have a 1x4 scale B-style gushing over magical girls leopard bunny version, 36,000 yen, May release next year. Now that green they used on her bunny suit, that looks very nice, very shiny. Yep, plain bunny girl for 36k, very pricey. And will she be? I'm not too sure about this one, unfortunately. Let's hope that it is customable. There are no signs of that in the official product pictures provided by Freeing over here, but who knows, there may be a nice surprise where the top piece over here can just peel it off. There is always that possibility. As for the anime, I'm still trying to be patient with waiting for the season 2. But whether I can recommend pre-ordering this early or not, I'm not sure how to predict with this one. Season 2 is coming, which means the popularity is going to maintain for a longer period than usual for a seasonal anime. So who knows, maybe she will retain her value quite well. Moving on to the next one, 1x5.5. Okay, this figure is by Nocturne, which is an 18+ figure brand. But if the figure is showing up on HLJ, it means this is the safe for work version, unfortunately. So, Kamomimi cheerleader illustration by Yatanuki. 24,000 yen, July release. This is the safe for work version. You can only remove her skirt. And that is it. If you want to cast it off, both top and bottom, yeah, that pink slit between the legs are very important after all. Then you need to get it on AmiAmi. It is an exclusive over there. 32,450 yen, including a bonus. Yeah, AmiAmi pack. I believe it is an acrylic stand. So that is quite a significant amount of extra money, but 1 by 5.5, you know, slightly bigger than 1/6, and not to mention Nocturne or Nocturnus, one of the best when it comes to edgy figures, so you can confidently pre-order it if you want one. Character design is nice, but yeah, nobody wears this kind of outfit for cheerleading, that is for sure. Moving up next, we are looking at the main highlight this week when it comes to the most extravagant looking skill figure. This one single Azur Lane figure managed to overshadow every other Nikke figures on pre-order this week. As if that is not bad enough, we have 2 or 3 Nikke figures, and we also have Firefly from Honkai Star Rail later, and then we have this. So we are looking at Azur Lane Owari, My Wish is for Love version by any game. So this is kind of messy over here, but let's go into the details. Version A, you're getting 2 sets of legs, the one in the left picture and the one on the right picture where her legs are wide open. And based on the feedback I'm reading online everywhere, a lot of you want her legs open for some reason. Even though you can't cast it off, but okay. 25,500 yen for this is actually incredibly reasonable, I would say. The price is very reasonable, but we're not yet done, right? There is a version B over here where you get what you saw earlier. The one in version A, on the left, you're getting that leg. And the second set of legs you're getting is this bare leg version. Yeah, this is set B. 25,500 yen as well, releasing in November next year. And then there is the base model where this picture over here, this is all you get. No extra legs or whatsoever for 22,000 yen. But what if you want all 3 sets of legs? You want this pair of legs over here, you want the bare leg version, and you also want the open leg version. That is where the AmiAmi exclusive comes in. 32,000 yen. This is a dick move coming from any game, but whatever. I'm so used to seeing stuff like this happening already. So, if having 3 sets of legs is so important to you, you want a set of legs for display, you want a second set of legs as a spare in the box in case you get bored and you want to swap them out, and you want a third set of legs for licking them, then you need to get this one. This Owari figure over here has this skull base, this diorama base over here, and this base alone, not including the figure, is an additional 21,000 yen. And more additional bad news, this is single shipment only. So you need to pay for shipping twice, one for the base and one for this DX version of the figure, 2 shipping fees. If you are living in the US or Canada and you go for ECMS, maybe you pay 15,000 yen for shipping this thing, and you pay another 15,000 yen, 12,000 yen for shipping the base again. Good luck. You're paying third-party 1x4 scale resin statue price just to own this figure and make sure you own every part. This is going to cost upward of 70,000-80,000 yen, even including shipping cost, especially for those of you living on the other side of the planet. So to plan your budget appropriately, this is going to cost a lot, right? This is why your wallet Owari da. The end of the wallet. Your wallet is finished. This one single figure is going to break your budget. But what if I'm telling you that you can pay shipping only once, not twice? You can combine them. This is where OzGK comes in once again. So over at ozgk.com, you can get this figure, everything, Owari with 3 sets of legs and that throne base over there, everything in one single box for $310. Yeah, do the conversion. How much is that in Japanese yen? It is likely to be slightly cheaper than AmiAmi's price of over 53,000 yen. Right? 310 bucks for everything. And why is it so cheap over here? Because this is a Chinese brand. We are talking about any game. Chinese brands, their pricing are a bit cheaper in China compared to in Japan. So do not overlook OSGK as an alternative for pre-ordering or purchasing Chinese brand genuine PVC figures. So there are several versions over here: standard version, deluxe version, standard version plus replacement legs, and deluxe version plus replacement legs. That is the one you should go for. The only problem with this page over here is that down here in the descriptions, they are not being clear enough. Okay, they have updated the page because I was complaining about it this afternoon, right? So right here, let me highlight this sentence over here. The standard version and deluxe version plus replacement legs versions include 2 types of replacement leg parts. There we go. 3 sets of legs plus 2 bases over here for $310. So this is where you should get this figure over here in case you don't want to get it on AmiAmi because you pay shipping double, or you can't even access AmiAmi because your account has been banned. So I'm leaving the link right up here. You can go and check out this figure on OSGK. Yeah. Moving on to the next one here, 1x6 scale Kamiguse-chan illustration by Muzin-chan. This is a re-release by Nocturne. So yeah, Nocturne, ecchi figure brand like I mentioned earlier. This is an ecchi figure but safe for work version, 20k. But you should get her on AmiAmi. Full Hadaka Loli. Love it. This is only an additional 2,000 yen, and you're even getting the AmiAmi exclusive bonus. So if you want this figure, get her on AmiAmi. Moving on to the next figure here. Okay, Tia-chan. I remember that Union Creative, was it Union Creative, has made a figure of her, and there was a third party, not third party, my bad. There was a licensed resin figure brand. I think it was, what was the name of the brand again? Anyways, there's a resin statue of her, and there's another scale figure of her by a different brand, which I believe is Union Creative. And now we have the cheapest version yet of this character made by River Studio. Yep, it is Chinese. So this deluxe version where you are getting 2 entire figures over here for only 23,000 yen. What an absolute bargain, right? So River Studio, I have reviewed only one figure from them. A JK Bunny girl figure. That was a low budget figure. I think it was under 10,000 yen. Pretty decent overall. So they are far from the best Chinese figure brand, but at the same time, you know, not too bad, right? They are middle of the pack in a way. There may be a few copies out there with small QC issues. At least that was what some people told me when they bought a River Studio figure that was released in the past. But what I got with my one single figure of them, it was okay, right? I'm still keeping it today. I like that figure a lot. So this is quite the deal. And I think this is the only version you should go for, the deluxe version, even though you are getting the figure twice, you're buying the figure twice, because if you buy them separately, the value is not that great. This dress version, 16k, and this bodysuit version, 16k. If you buy them separately, that is 32,000 yen. So I'm not sure how they are able to get it down to 23,000 yen. Yeah, but going by the official product pictures over here, should by HLJ, if you get both, big price cut, 23,000 yen. So this is the version you should get, and forget about these two over here. Yeah. Moving on to the next one, we have 2 figures from Union Creative. The first one is a re-release, but they're calling it a renewal package version. Union Creative does this a lot because, you know, they changed the packaging, the box design. Yeah. 7Z Haruna from To Love Good Darkness, 18,000 yen only at 1x6 scale, releasing in July next year. So Union Creative may not be my number 1 brand to go for when it comes to Love Go figures, but I respect them so much for, you know, going for every character, including the smaller side characters that are less important in the anime or manga. They appear less often. They make every character. They make a figure of them. So this is the most consistent brand in the regard that they don't neglect the less important characters, right? Yeah, so give Union Creative your money if you like to love Ru. I think they deserve some support over here. Yeah, and not to mention this kind of outfit that they are wearing, you know, they are not very intricate, not very detailed, so there is less likelihood for the paintwork to go wrong. Yeah. The next Union Creative figure over here, oh, I remember this one from One Fest. So Reverse Bunny illustration by Hirari, 22,000 yen only, November release next year. So this being a Union Creative figure, not an edgy figure brand, so no, this is not customable. And this is the only version you're getting. Paintwork looks pretty nice, like the stockings on her leg, right? The color gradient is very obvious. And this trend of Reverse Bunny, basically the body parts that should be exposed are covered. The limbs, arms and legs, right? And the parts that should be covered, the opai, the backside, everywhere, they expose it instead. So Reverse Bunny, right? It is becoming quite a popular trend nowadays. I can't say I hate it, but I think it depends on the character. Some characters, they look great, some not so much. This one is fine, but I don't see myself buying this one. Right, moving on to the next one, 1x6 scale again. So the next 3 figures are Nikke figures. The first one is Trina Deluxe Edition with a wall scroll by Hanabi. 22,400 yen, October release 2026. Hanabi is a low-budget figure brand up until last year, and starting from earlier this year, they have started putting out more expensive premium scale figures on pre-order. There was an Azur Lane figure, what was the name again? In tennis outfit. And then there was, Resin Stout, around 20,000 yen, I believe. And then now we have this Trina, 22,000 yen for the DX version. Or without the wall scroll, the standard version is 20k, right? And I'm not quite sure why Hanabi went for this character Trina, because based on the responses and reactions I'm seeing from people who play the game and collect figures, this is not a very popular character. Or maybe their strategy is to pick up characters that are less popular, that no one else is making, they make a figure of it. They are trying to fill in that void, that market gap, right, in the figure industry. Everyone is spamming Alice or Rapi. No, they don't do that. They go for characters that no one else is making. Maybe that is their strategy, and that is not necessarily a wrong strategy either. So, will I get one? I won't be pre-ordering it early, but there is always a chance where I will purchase one after release and review it, right? After all, I'm collecting Nikke stuff now, but I'm still being selective with the characters I buy. So we will see. I'm not sure yet. Hanabi as a brand, I haven't reviewed anything from them yet, but just a matter of time, I suppose. But based on the pictures I've seen, at least from users in MFC, their existing figures, they look pretty good. So maybe this is a good pre-order. The next Nikke figure here is from Flare, right? We are entering 1x7 scale territory now. But Flare, they often do not give their figures a scale, but they are roughly 1x7 scale in size. So here we have Mary Medical Rabbit, almost 23,000 yen, October release next year. Looks bland, isn't it? Just the bunny girl, right? So here's the thing about Flare. For some reason, they always find a way to make me dislike their Nikke figure. And this is like the 4th or 5th time already, not the first time, right? They are narrow. For some reason, looked very dull, very dark. And I wasn't sure if it was the photographer's problem not taking good photos of the figure. That could be a possibility as well. And then what else do we have? Bay and Clay was okay. I think Clay looks fine, but Bay looks very dark, just like Narrow. Not sure if it was the dark brown paint sucking in all the light around the figure, and it made the face look pretty dark. And then there was Red Hood. Extremely overpriced, almost 38,000 yen. I only needed to add a few thousand yen on top, and I could get the 1x4 scale by Hobby Sakura from a Chinese website. So that was absurd, the Red Hood. And then what else do we have again? I think there are more, right? We just had one a few weeks ago. I can't remember the name. I wasn't happy with that one either. the figure looked pretty dull. Yep, I think it was Rapi. A few weeks ago, we had Rapi. That one looked fine, but not very impressive in a way. It is like the figure looks dull. Once again, could be the photographer's problem. I have no idea. And now, Medical Rabbit is giving me a very similar reaction, a very similar impression where the figure looks a bit bland and dull. Just that this time around, you're indeed getting two face plates over here. One with the eyes closed and one with the eyes open over here. And some of you have pointed out that there's something a bit off about her face. But I can't really comment much because I'm not playing the game. Yeah, so the figures I buy, you know, be it FGO or Azur Lane or Nikke, I don't really play the games much because I don't have the time. I just look at the character design, I like it, I buy it. If not, I skip it. Simple as that. So, I don't really know yet about the argument about her face looking a little bit off, but I suppose that there is no harm waiting until after release because in case she becomes rare and expensive, which I think is very unlikely, then no flare might as well re-release it again because they did that to Alice. The Alice was good, right? The Alice was pretty good, but for everything else so far, I'm a bit skeptical at this point. Yeah. Moving up next, the third Nikke figure this week. We actually have 4 this week, not 3. I was mistaken earlier. So the third one here is Helm Chandelier version by Max Factory. 24,400 yen roughly. Releasing in January 2027. Big oof over there because the first month of year 27 is looking to be very heavy. A lot of excellent Nikke and Azur Lane figures are packed into January. Yeah. So with Max Factory, very simple. You like her, you pre-order one, right? This is among the best figure brands out there when it comes to consistency and detail in their paintwork, just that they come at quite a high cost. This is on the expensive side for 1x4, for 1x7 scale, I mean. But not as bad as volume, I suppose. I feel I overpaid for volume. That thing is bargain binning already. But I liked that character so much that I paid full price for her. So, if you say you want to wait until after release and wait for a bin, by all means, wait for it, right? Because Max Factory, even though they are among the best figure brands out there, top 10 best, easily, their figures are still bargain bin for some reason. And the only reason I can think of is, yeah, they overproduced it, too many units. So, it is really up to you whether to pre-order it early or not. But if you ask me, should I get a Max Factory scale figure? Absolutely, 100%. And then the fourth Nikke figure over here, this is actually my personal favorite Nikke figure this week. Scarlet Black Shadow by Good Smile Company, 23,500 yen, January 2027 again. So, the reason why I liked this so much, you know, she reminds me of Scarheart from FGO. Full purple bodysuit with a sword, and the sword is the same color as the spear of Scarheart, bright red color. And the best thing about this figure is that we are getting additional face plates, right? So, this is the standard face plate. Is this a standard one? And then there is one where... No, this is the standard face plate. This one over here. And then this one, she looks a bit stern in her face expression. But the best has to be yandere face, right? So, if I get this one, which is very likely I will get one, yes, I am going to display this figure with this yandere face over here. Because that makes her different from other Nikke figures out there. The question is, should I pre-order it early or wait until after release? Because it feels like figures becoming rare and expensive is not very common anymore nowadays. No? And if that does happen, companies like Good Smile, they would re-release it anyway. So, it is not very rewarding anymore to pre-order a figure very early. Other than for someone like me, a YouTuber, it is always nice to get a figure as early as possible so that I can get the videos out as early as possible and get more views, right? But I don't know, man. Do I want this figure? Absolutely. Will I pre-order it early? 50-50. I still need to think about it. But I do highly recommend this figure for Nikke fans for obvious reasons. Moving on to the next one, Good Smile Company again, Formidable Mew Equipment version from Azur Lane, 29k December 2026 release. My first reaction to seeing the price, this is outright overpriced, but you know, maybe Good Smile saw how well the Ultra version sold for 30,000 yen, so let's price it a bit higher because people will buy it anyway. In my opinion, there are no formidable figures out there that beats the Ultra version when it comes to getting the face expression looking extra captivating, you know. There's something special about the Ultra version and no one is beating that. But this is a very competent figure of formidable. It is Good Smile Company. It is going to turn out great, but it is not touching the Ultra one, right? If you are looking into collecting multiple figures of formidable, then by all means pick one up. Yeah, but who knows, the price might get discounted slightly after release or it might go up even. The Ultra one, I believe the price is remaining very stable because that is so unique. You know, that wink face expression, yeah. It makes any man suffering from the loneliness epidemic feel a little bit better just by looking at her face. That is how special the Ultra version is, but at least this version over here has a nice black and red dress though. Very detailed looking and heavy shading all over. Moving on to the next figure, another main highlight this week, and this is among the best sellers this week on AmiAmi for very obvious reasons. And I'm still debating myself whether to pre-order her again. I want Scarlet. I want this Firefly from Honkai Star Rail by Good Smile Company, only 21,000 yen. I forgot to open the tab on OzGK again. So over at ozgk.com, you will find a $300 version of this Firefly figure, which comes with a very pretty display case. Yes, China exclusive. But this time around, I would say that is a bit unnecessary because you're paying like over $100 for an acrylic display case. It is something very popular in China, and there are a lot of popular anime figures where third parties have made custom display acrylic cases for these figures. They are not cheap. The cheapest ones I've seen are at least $40 and they can go over $100 depending on how big it is and how nice the artwork they are using for the backdrop and so on, right? So these acrylic cases, I mean, if you're paying $30-40 for one, maybe yes, but $100 extra, that is not a wise way to spend your $100, right? So I would suggest getting this figure on HLJ, 21,000 yen only, and you're not paying any additional taxes like on AmiAmi, right? AmiAmi is like 23k, I think. So 21k for everything over here, including a very nice base for a Good Smile Company scale figure. This is great value, one of the best value pre-orders this week. Moving on to the next figure over here, Nijisanji Yang Nari by DMM Factory, 18,000 yen August release. Okay, I don't know much about VTubers, so this is just a cute cat girl to me, copying Suzumiya Haruhi's trademark pose. Yeah, this is totally Suzumiya Haruhi over here, just that of a different character. I mean, how many different poses can you come up with for anime figures, right? There is a very limited, a finite number of poses you can give to anime figures, and eventually, yeah, we end up with many figures featuring a very similar or the same pose. Since day one I saw this figure, yeah, I had Haruhi Suzumiya in my head. I'm quite an old school anime person. I've been watching anime for the past 17-18 years or so, since the late 2000s, right? So I've seen a lot, yeah. It is a great figure to have for 18,000 yen. DMM Factory is known for overpricing their stuff so much. They have made Mason figures that cost 30,000 yen. They have Oshinoko figures that cost 25,000 yen. So this one looks like a bargain in comparison at 18,000 yen. So go for it if you like Yang Nari. Not much can go wrong with this brand. Their figures are good in quality, just that they can be pretty pricey, but not this time. Moving on to the next one here, Wave Corporation another solid high quality figure brand, but they tend to make simpler stuff every time. So we have Hiro Shinozawa swimsuit version from Gakuen Idolmaster, 20,000 yen October release. It is a bit on the pricey side, for a girl that is very skinny, no oppai, and wearing swimsuit. So the detail levels are pretty low. 20,000 yen is a bit much, but with Corporation, it is like their quality is guaranteed to turn out great. So not a bad buy for iMask fans. And for me, I have stopped collecting anything related to idols. Moving up next, Yuki Suo from Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. Best emoto. If you don't believe me, just go and watch the first 3 episodes of this anime. She has already cemented her greatness as an emoto. 19,000 yen only, July release 2026. So this is like what Kotobukiya has been doing for many of their seasonal anime figures. Reminds me of Mai Shiranui and... not Mai Shiranui. That bunny girl, what's her name again? Mai Shiranui is the KOF girl. I'm not going to waste my time thinking so much. Yeah, the bunny girl Mai. I'll just call her that. Brain fart moment where I'm bad at remembering names of people or anime characters. Anyways, Kotobukiya has quite a bunch of anime figures with school desk and chairs like these. And I really wish that I get to buy only the props, without the figure. Like, give me a dozen of these. I want them for my anime figures diorama. I want to make my own classroom for anime figures. So the thing that appeals to me the most is the accessories rather than the main figure. But guess what? She looks really good over here. Her face is very accurate compared to what we see in the anime. So I hope that Furyu does not screw this one up, because she is a fan favorite. Yeah, and I like her more than Alia itself. Moving on to the next one, Kotobukiya. Megan Bishoujo statue. This looks a bit creepy. It is like a doll that is haunted, right? And it is walking and going after you with a weapon in her hand. Something like that. Yeah, this is a bit creepy. It is like looking at a Chucky doll, There's something a bit unnerving about looking at her in her face. It is like a very scary blank stare. Granted, I know nothing about this character, but I think my descriptions are not that far off. Maybe it is a yandere kind of character. If you know something about her, let me know down in the comments below. So Bishoujo statues, they are often good values, but 18k is getting a bit pricey. Bishoujo statue figures used to cost a lot less, but you know what? Yeah, Japanese yen is weakening, so they needed to increase the price. Next up, Ikari Shinji version Radio Era Part 3 by Hobbymax, 18,500 yen, January release, and that is 2027. So, whenever I see Radio Era series under Hobbymax, I know that it is going to bargain bin by 40 or 50%. You can probably get one for less than 10,000 yen a few months after release. So no, don't pre-order this one. I'm sorry Hobbymax, but each time they make a Radio Era figure, I say the same thing. They're not worth pre-ordering. And this is probably one of the most underwhelming scale figures this week, being overshadowed by everything else. Moving up next, man, this is getting pretty long. King of Collectors, Kyo Kusanagi, normal color. Okay, from KOF, 18,000 yen only because this is pop-up parade size, only 18 centimeters by Studio 24, October release next year. And also from KOF, Iori Yagami, one of the trademark characters, right? In KOF, 18k as well, November release 2026. Well, if I want a character, a figure of a character from a fighting game, I would be thinking about Cammy and Juri from Street Fighter, and maybe, yeah, what's her name again? Asuka. Asuka from Tekken, I like her a lot. Lily as well. Who else? Yeah, I'm going to stop yapping over here because this is getting pretty long. Moving on to the next one, now we are entering low budget figure territory. Weibo's Rise Up Honkai Star Rail Little Cat Series, Topaz and Nambi version. 9,000 yen only, June release. Initially, I thought that is a lot of stuff you're getting for 9,000 yen, and then as it turns out, yeah, that object behind her is just an acrylic piece. But at this price, I suppose that it is not too surprising. So, Weeboss has been doing things very differently from every other Chinese brands out there. Their quality is excellent, but they have been lollifying, as I call it, lollifying. You need to add this word to the dictionary, which means making ordinary looking characters more lolly than they actually are. Lollify a character. They have been lollifying Honkai Star Rail characters, but they are pretty adorable, I suppose, pretty cute, so people will like them. And from what I'm aware of, they're selling pretty well. 9,000 yen is a great price. That is a lot of detail for this figure over here. Moving on to the next one here, Pop-Up Red L. Hitagi Senjo Gahara from Monogatari series. This is going to sell like hotcakes. 8,000 yen only, June release 2026. Of course, given the choice, I would get the Good Smile version with all the stationery floating surrounding her, right? Now, the first version that came out 15 years ago, that was only 9,800 yen, and it was a premium scale figure. But by today, they have a remastered version costing over 20k, and they're offering a budget version over here for 8,000 yen, which is not a bad pre-order for people who are on a budget, really. She looks pretty good. And Pop-Up Red L is the line that I would recommend people to get. The standard Pop-Up Red is way too small in size, which means harder to paint and more QC issues. Even more so when they try to keep the price down. And the XL are just money pits. They are a waste of money. They are terrible. And they are 25,000 yen. What the heck? And the lack of Pop-Up Red XL from Good Smile this past 1 year says a lot because people are not buying them. Okay, moving on to the next one here. Pop-Up Red Natsu Band Event KV version from Blue Archive, 6,500 yen. I just love these Blue Archive Pop-Up Reds. I think they look great, but they are quite a bit more expensive than the usual Pop-Up Red figures. Detail-wise, I think this is good. You know, they are applying decals on the shirt. This is not a painted detail, so less things would go wrong, I suppose. The next Blue Archive figure here, Yoshimi Band version as well, 6,500 yen, releasing in May 2026. They all call it a band version, but they are not coming with any music instruments. Yeah, they're trying to keep the price down, I suppose. Face looks very nice. I love the face. And I just noticed that there are no cameras on the back of a smartphone. Yes, I look for stupid stuff to complain about, but nowadays, if you were to ask me, do smartphones with no cameras behind exist? Yes, they do. Those privacy-focused smartphones, right? And people who work for example, for NSA or CIA or FBI, female body investigators, yeah, people who work in sensitive departments, they are probably required to use smartphones that has no cameras and a bunch of security apps. So yeah, these kind of phones, they do exist, but to see a Blue Archive character one. Moving on to the next one, we have Shizuka Kuze and Takopi from Takopi's original scene, 5,000 yen, May release. Yeah, this is a simple figure, plain white shirt, so the price is low. I should watch the anime. It is only 6 episodes, and I know that it is very dark. It is very edgy, but that is a good thing because there is too much censorship nowadays. We need less of that. And the last figure on HLJ for this week, Pop-Up Red Bomb from Chainsaw Man, the movie Rezeak. 6,000 yen, releasing in May next year. They have pretty nice photographs over here that makes the figure looks expensive. But I doubt that the real figure is this premium looking, right? For one, her helmet or her head won't be, it won't be metallic. They should be metallic to make the figure look nicer, but this is a low budget figure. Alright, now we shall move on to AmiAmi for some items that are not yet available on HLJ at the time of recording, or they may be exclusives on AmiAmi. So I've covered like Owari earlier and also the Ecchi figure by Nocturne. So moving on to the next figure on AmiAmi over here. This is since last Saturday. A week later, HLJ has not listed her on pre-order yet, so I'm not sure if she will ever be available on HLJ. White Rabbit Roseau Wonderland version, this is the DX version, 36,500 yen after a discount, releasing in September 2026 by Hobby Sakura. So why is a 1x7 scale original art figure so expensive? Hobby Sakura, their prices tend to be very reasonable, right? The answer is because this is a resin statue. For some reason, resin and 1x7 scale, not great. This is going to be very fragile. And why did Hobby Sakura chose to go resin with this figure? Only God knows the answer at this point. And Hobby Sakura's own stuff. I have no idea why they did this. This could have been a 23,000 yen figure if it was PVC, but they went resin for some reason. There is a slightly cheaper version without the AmiAmi bonus for 34,480 yen. Alright, moving on to the next one. This may go on pre-order on HLJ later this week. Animaster, it is not an exclusive. Neural Cloud Jiangyu Usagi Nue Sobotsu 1x7 scale, 9,200 yen, releasing in October 2026. So I already have Animaster's Florence from Neural Cloud. Amazing figure. I'm displaying it somewhere in my studio. So there is a high chance that I may get this figure. I just want to add more characters next to my Neural Cloud Florence, so maybe I will pick one up. The price is pretty low after all. But the face expression on this is very nice. I love her face expression, right? Moving on to the next one here. Now we are entering the age restricted section on AmiAmi. The first one is a binding 1x4 scale. Antwe, how to pronounce that? Original illustration, Russian blue. 36,300 yen, releasing in June 2026. So this one is car stuffable. Yeah. Both her opai and her backside, no worries. It is binding, you will get that. So nice pose, but it is just a cat girl. And most of the figure is grey, black, very monotonous. So I'm not sure if I'm liking this one. The next one here. Okay, this one went on pre-order like 2 or 3 weeks ago on OSGK. And back then, I did mention that I wasn't sure if this is going to appear in Japanese websites, but there is a high chance it will because it is a PVC, right? And here we have on AmiAmi, Elf Bright Deluxe Bonus Edition for 27,580 yen by Nanahiro, a new brand. So no track record yet. We don't know what the quality is like. 1x6 scale, releasing in September 2026. But this figure was pretty popular when I shared it on social media for very obvious reasons. Customable both top and bottom. Next one here, we have a deluxe version, slightly cheaper. I think it is without the AmiAmi bonus. 25,280 yen. And there is an even cheaper version over here. Regular edition, 22k. Forget about it. No image, but forget about it. Get the full package. It is not that much more expensive. And the last figure on AmiAmi is White Hair Luna-chan, illustrated by Kazu Komeshiro, 1x6 scale by Pure. Premium edgy brand from China, 25,500 yen, releasing in January 2027 again. For some reason, I feel like I'm looking at an edgy figure version of White Queen from Dead Alive. Even the eyes are of a different color. Maybe that is the inspiration, The artist saw a character that she likes, and then the artist created his or her own version of the same character and give it a different name. After all, creative people are always inspiring each other. We are always copying each other. There is no such thing as originality anymore nowadays. Yeah. It is what it is, I suppose, right? Moving on to the last section for genuine figures, Ninin game for Be-Full Inside stuff. So these figures, you can also get them on OSGK if that is where I prefer to get your figures. The first one here is Punished on a Wooden Horse Hanaoka-san. Re-release. Yeah, re-release. These figures by Insight, they are hot trash, but still people buy them. They sell out. They had to re-release it because they became expensive and rare. 22,000 yen at 1x6 scale, releasing in May. And then the next one here, Chibi Cat Girl Tama Neko Yashiki 1x5 scale. That should be 23 or 24,000 yen, I think. Very cute. And Hadaka and Lolly, what is there not to like? Releasing in May as well. The third one here, this is a dude, a boy. Kamomimi, Boy Ellen, also a re-release because there are so many girls out there who like Shota. 22,000 yen, releasing in May as well. Is it May? Oh no, my bad. August. August 2026. And then the last one here would be Voluptuous Fitness Coach Reika 1/6 scale, 22,000 yen, releasing in May. So that is all for the genuine figures on pre-order this week. Now we move on to third-party resin figure segment, making use of OSGK. So once again, if you're planning to pre-order or purchase literally anything, please do make use of my links down in the description below, and that is how you support this channel. And one more thing would be, if you're enjoying this video so far, please do consider giving this video a like and subscribe to this channel. It is just one click away. Right, moving on to the next one here. Okay, I couldn't find this on HLJ. You can get this on AmiAmi. So Max Factory has this vinyl figure of Doro for around 6,500 yen, I think. Yeah, it is a coin box, but it is a soft vinyl figure, and this meme over here, I think every Nikke fan needs to have a Doro figure or two. $65 here, or is this cheaper or AmiAmi cheaper? I'm not sure, but most likely AmiAmi is cheaper in this case because this is a Japanese brand. Okay, moving on to third parties this week. We start off with chibi figures. We have a couple of Anya figures. The first one is ZH Studio, among the best Anya figure brands out there from third parties. Cosplaying as Kaneki Ken from Tokyo Ghoul. This is $128. Yep, the two versions has to be the hair color, right? Oh, different face. I thought it was white and pink hair. Yep, there we go. White hair and pink hair. This was predictable. I think I would take the white hair version with the red eye, right? So let's have a closer look over here. Wow, the texture on her outfit. This is a very good crossover. The price is because you're getting two faceplate or two heads, most likely. Two entire heads. So yeah, this is a very good crossover, man. One of the better ones I've seen in recent weeks. Right, next Anya figure here, cosplaying as Kocho Shinobu. Whenever you see Kocho Shinobu, you will want to give her a very tight hug. If you know what I mean. The Doma hug. Right, this is by Moe Studio, $94. Two version has to be hair color again. Version A, this hardly looks like Anya at all. It looks like a chibi version of Shinobu Kocho. And version B, I mean, if I wanted a figure of Anya, I would get this, right? But if I wanted her to cosplay Shinobu Kocho properly, I would get this. But this does not look like Anya that much. This is a bit tough to choose, man. Yeah, this is not easy. But the ZH Studio version earlier is so much nicer. This is only $94 each, releasing in... Okay, there is no release date yet. Normally, this kind of figures, they release within 3 to 6 months because it does not take long to produce figures that are this simple. Moving on to the next one, now we are entering the life-sized waifu territory, plastic waifus, for those of you who are lonely, just like me. Anyways, this is only 135 centimeters tall, so if you love your lollies, you may want to give this a serious look. Articulated premium custom silicone doll, up to $1,500 by HS Doll. Standard and deluxe has to be the amount of accessories included, and January 2026 release. Yep. Hopefully, I get to review one of these things one day, someday, right? Hopefully, I don't know yet. Right. I love my JKs, so this one over here, what I'm looking at, I actually like it. Moving on to the next one by Bezelia. This is a brand we come across every week. They only have one figure or one statue this week. Succubus, Magnolia, almost $4,000. Ouch. The face looks really nice though, and releasing in February 2026. Sometimes the price difference is so massive because of the internal frame in the doll, right? Yep, it will be metal frame, but some will be more advanced than the others when it comes to how much articulation range you get and how durable they are in the long term. So one thing you need to bear in mind is that when you buy a life-sized doll like this that is way too cheap, maybe less than $1,000, sometimes only a few $100s, $500-600 you can get one, but how long lasting is the internal framework, right? Sometimes the joints become completely loose or even break off, then you are screwed. Yeah, that is just one of a few factors. There is the internal framework, the chassis, and there is also the material they use for the skin, and yeah, so many factors. Okay, moving on to the next one here. This one is amazing. I have to admit that this is incredible. Life-sized doll of Madoka Magica, but you know what kind of doll it is, right? And this is less than $1,100 for everything you're getting in this picture. By Lee Tzu Yuan Studio, releasing in, okay, no release date yet. So this one, I do want to get a closer look. It is really pretty. And yeah, this would be how I would display this doll. Get a nice, traditional looking chair and put her on, man. I wonder how much shipping is going to cost. That is my number one concern. When I see everything in this picture, the doll alone is one thing, but all of the props and the base, man. Oh, this is so nice. I'm not even a Madoka fan. Right, moving on to the next one here. Now we are entering original characters section. So here we have TGZW Studio. It is a licensed resin statue brand, and they have made amazing stuff from Street Fighter, both Kami and Juri, right? But recently they have been making original characters a lot. So this is Uniform Series Bunny Girl Jiangmin by J Statue. Okay, $620 at 1/4 scale, releasing in March 2026. Yeah, this is kind of hot, and for those of you who are leaning towards the M side, you are a masochist, you want to be whacked by a woman like this. Or maybe you are the one chaining and putting a collar on the girl. Anyways, it is a nice statue, a very artistic one. And the sculpt looks very nice, so yeah, not my kind of thing, but I can see people buying this figure or statue. Next up, oh, Soda Studio and the original characters, right? They are pretty popular from what I know. They specialize on MILF characters. So now we have a Tale of Desire Elf Queen, Ruda Gerche, 1/4 scale at $389. Releasing in June 2026. 18 plus female according to OSGK, so most likely you can cast it off. I haven't gone through the pictures yet. I'm reacting to this for the first time. I mean, I posted the links on my social media, but I did not even browse through the pictures myself. If OSGK labels it as 18 plus, there is a high chance you can cast it off. But just to be safe, you're interested, DM them, message them, and try to confirm it before pre-ordering. This is a typical MILF. Looks like a mom with big opai. Not my kind of thing, but yeah, it is going to be very popular. Moving up next, okay, this action figure over here is so unique. This is one of those few rare cases where a character design feels very original. Beautiful chemistry, 7-star series 1/6 scale action figure, no name, right? $166, June 2026 release. So this character does remind me of STR a bit from Black Rock Shooter, Strength. STR is black color and she has giant mecha arms, not exactly comparable, but looking at her mecha hands over here, yeah, reminds me of STR. And this is an action figure that I would not mind having one on display in my collection. It is so unique. This character looks like something straight out from Black Rock Shooter. Yes, I love it so much. And you look at the paintwork, right? The kind of shading they're doing, it is like battle damage effect. And this is something that I really want to see more genuine figure brands do. What the genuine PVC figure brands are doing, everything is clean, everything is perfect. I wish that we get something like this every once in a while. Yeah, I love this. And it looks like a seamless action figure. Is it? Oh no, there are joints. Okay. So if you dress up the character, you won't see the joints, at least for the knees. But I mean, given the mecha parts on her hands and on her legs, even with these obvious joints on her elbow and knees, I think it is fine, right? It blends in very nicely. So this is very unique. Go and have a look. Moving on to the next one here. Now we are entering anime characters section. So first up, we have Strange Thief Studio again. They keep spamming Detective Conan stuff. And another Ai Haibara, $194. Oh, that is for the set, I see. So if you get this one, version A, $107, and version B, $107. Which one do I prefer? Like, yeah, there are two entirely different figures, I suppose. And big fans of her will want to have both, but I think I like this one a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Yeah. So 1/6 scale releasing in June. Not much comment from me. Not collecting Conan stuff. Next up, we have Detective Conan again by Gong Studio. Wait, Gong is a Japanese brand, right? Is it Japanese or Chinese? But Gong is a PVC figure brand. Licensed, genuine PVC figure brand. So now they're making action figures as well. It has to be Chinese brand. I just saw the Chinese name over here. Right? Up here on top right corner. Okay, Chinese figure brand. Fine. So they are doing action figure now. This is Mori Run. And they also have Conan. Yep. Okay, so I normally don't cover action figures, but I thought it was a scale figure earlier when I opened the tabs. So $80 for action figure. I suppose that is what you pay nowadays, right? Even the Chinese brands are not that cheap anymore. I find Figmas to be grossly overpriced. Revolted as well. Action figures that are so tiny, but you know, they are costing as much as 15,000 yen nowadays. Not much more can buy a scale figure, but the reason why action figures are so expensive is because technically they have more parts, right? A scale figure is maybe 15 to 20 parts being glued together, but action figures have way more because of the joints and all the extra accessories. So yeah, they cost more to produce simply because of the number of parts. Moving on to the next one here. What the heck is this? Low Yen Renxing Studio. Is this the same studio as that Yujai Renxing? Or a branch of it? Low Yen Renxing. Like Yujai Renxing is doing 1/3 scale. So now they have Low Yen Renxing Studio doing 1/2 scale. Boa Hancock from One Piece, except this barely looks like Boa Hancock. 1/2 scale, but up to $551. Hair transplant version and regular version. The regular is $535. Only $20 difference. Okay, so the difference between regular version and hair transplant version, which is a thing in life-sized dolls, is that the hair transplant version is literally transplant. So the hair is permanently attached to the head of the doll. You can't remove it, right? So it is more realistic. That is the advantage. The disadvantage is that it is a lot harder to clean, right? Maybe you want to clean the hair, you want to wash it, and you want to comb it, stuff like that. It is a lot harder to maintain, in short. Yeah, so that is a disadvantage. So regular version is pretty much wearing a wig. Bald head and then put on a wig, right? So that is easy to clean, but maybe a little bit less realistic compared to a real human being. So this is mostly personal preference at this point. No, this looks like an inflatable doll, man. What the heck? Look at the skin. It is like shiny rubber, you know. This is like an inflatable rubber doll that cost $50-$80. It looks terrible. No. Even if you were to buy a life-sized doll or something that is near life-sized, 1/3, 1/2 or bigger, then you need to be more nitpicky. Don't buy something that is way too cheap. Yeah. Moving on to the next one, we have a lot of cultured figures this week, which I couldn't show much, unfortunately. And even worse, for this figure by Murloc Studio, they gave us very low resolution pictures that are very blurry, so I couldn't show much. Boa Hancock from One Piece, $233. Yeah, in this compromised position over here. I'm not sure if I like it, but you know what? If you collect cultured figures, they are not very common nowadays, so you need to give this a good look. Yeah, $233 for 1x6 scale is reasonable and releasing in September 2026. I think her face looks good though, even though I can't really verify it. The next one here, Fit Studio has Nikke from Robin from One Piece. $181 only at 1x6 scale, no release date yet. And this Robin looks pretty nice. Right, you're getting a lot of figure. Just that the colors on this version of Robin is pretty bland. Yeah, white color everywhere. But this is a lot of figure. 32 cm. With a nice base and all the effect part. All of these for less than $200. The face looks good as well. So this is quite a good purchase or pre-order. Moving up next, we have PJ Studio New Era Series Throne of Seal Animation, Chinese anime. Sheng Chai 1x6 scale, $187, releasing in December 2026. So everything by PJ Studio is licensed. And this is resin or PVC. Let me have a look. This is both resin and PVC and ABS. Everything is used in this figure. Yeah, looks amazing, isn't it? I am going to be selective with realistic face stuff that I buy. If it is like Nier Automata or Stellar Blade Eve, realistic face is fine. In fact, they need to be more realistic, especially with Eve, right? This one is nice, but I won't collect it. I won't buy it. I have too many stuff to buy already. PJ Studio, their quality is excellent in case you are wondering. If you want one, go ahead and pre-order it. Moving up next, we have Sugar Honey Studio, Kino Makoto from Sailor Moon. This brand makes a lot of Sailor Moon stuff. This is just another one, $189 at 1/6 scale, releasing in June 2026. And what makes this Sailor Moon figure a good purchase is that this is customable. 18 plus according to OSGK, and there is a censored pic down below if you scroll through the pictures. So yeah, you don't come by something like this very often. Face looks good. Yep. Sailor Moon character face, no problems over there. Moving up next, Chijiang Studio. Takamatsu Tomori from Bang Dream. So this is 1/7 scale, not 1/6. So I'm inclined to suspect that this is a recast of an existing GK from Japan. I don't have any proof, right? I'm just suspecting. So $187 for a third-party figure of a waifu that you dream to bang. So I'm not sure if it is worth it, but if the figure turns out good, and if it is indeed a recast, then it really depends on how badly you want the figure. I don't find this to be particularly that exciting of a figure in terms of character design, but what do I know? I'm not even a fan of Bang Dream. I do like some of the music, some of their songs, they are pretty nice, but their characters are just typical idols, no? Moving up next, we have 3 figures from So No Free One. The first one here is quite the abomination, but we'll go through it very quickly. This Free One from Power Studio. It is a chibi style figure, apparently, a super deformed style. $60 only, releasing in June. And the more I look at this figure, the more it feels like looking at a man cosplaying as Free One. The face looks a bit masculine for some reason. So yeah, I'm calling it an abomination for a reason. And no, skip this one. What the heck is this, man? Right, next Free One figure over here. This looks very nice by YJ Studio. No price yet. This is an early bird pre-order. 1/6 scale, no release date as well. So this Free One, oh, the face is... it feels like looking at Free One with makeup. Right, it is a bit different from a Free One, I know, when you compare it to the PVCs by Good Smile or even Kyoskyou or Kotobukiya. It feels like she is wearing some makeup over here, right? Looks like Free One, but something is different. But it looks fine to me. Oh, tone stocking is a nice touch, right? Tone stocking is a good detail addition over there. And we do get this GB figure over here, just that I'm not sure how to predict the price on this. I would say under $200 maybe. It better be not more than that, otherwise I would tell you to get a genuine PVC figure. Yeah. Next up, oh, cultured figure again. So these are the kind of stuff where you need to buy them up before they become rare and expensive. Fish Head Studio, which I suspect to be TXS Studio. I mentioned this before. Waltz free run Beyond Journey's End. That is Fern, not free run. But anyways, $233 for this very cultured piece of statue or figure is not a bad buy at all. Everything is exposed. She is making mail from the looks of it and releasing in September 2026. And most importantly, her face looks pretty good. Yeah, looks like Fern, pretty accurate. Moving on to the next cultured figure, ZTR Studio. We have Yami from To Love Road. This is random, a Hadaka Yami. We don't need more lewd figures of Yami, right? I like Yami a lot. Like the two most popular characters in To Love Road, which is Momo and Yami, I love both equally. I like Momo a little bit more, but yeah, both are great. And this is pretty random. I don't remember seeing third parties making figures from To Love Road that much. So this is random. Hopefully there are more to come. This is an ecchi anime that is pretty hardcore. So I'm surprised that up to this point, there hasn't been many third party figures from To Love Road. This is welcome. Just that very expensive, $273 for a Hadaka figure is very expensive, even if you're getting a unique base over there. No release date yet though. Moving up next, from H Anime. I like this one a lot. Natsuha Shinomiya Ajisai no Chiru Kuroni. Yep, from H Anime. And the best part is the Ahegao face. Right? I love it for that. Unfortunately, the bad news is that you can't cast this off. This is all you get. So it is such a wasted opportunity. Imagine if it was Fish Head Studio earlier who made this figure instead of some brand that is based in China, so they couldn't make ecchi figures. Wasted opportunity, man. There are two color versions over here, the pink one and the gold one, but I would follow the one we saw in the H Anime, which is the pink version. So $187 for that, which is not an expensive price, right? Even though there is no cast off. If this was cast offable, this would be like $250. But I really wish that we have that option. The next figure from ecchi anime, we have Seika Jogakuin Konin Sao Oji-san, Rika Sumeragi by Shinhua Studio. So there is the deluxe version with the entire base seen on screen. That is $406 at 1/4 scale. This is a 1/4. So that is not a bad price given how much stuff you're getting. The standard version is going for $315. So it is not a big price cut, right? $100 for everything in this picture. Yeah, not a bad price at all. So if you want something licensed, the figure brand Pure is making them. So there are options in the genuine figure side. The face on this one looks pretty good though. Looks pretty accurate. I hope that they don't screw up the face. Next up, we are now moving into game characters section. So this line between anime characters and game characters, sometimes there is a bit of a crossover because the game got adapted into an anime. So the first one here, this is also quite the abomination, one of the worst this week. Sugar Cube Studio, Zinnia from Pokemon, $58. And no release date yet. What is this, man? It looks like a bootleg toy to me. Even the skin is so shiny, it looks like cheap plastic. Yeah, skin should never be shiny. It looks like children's toy to me, so nope. Next Pokemon figure here, yeah, cultured one for those of you who love furries. You need this Jui Wanja Studio, otherwise known as Mocking Studio, Eevee, Dancer Series Glaceon Pokemon. What? $60? Oh, 1/20 scale, tiny figure. Too small, not very satisfactory, man. Way too small. They need to make a bigger one. $54 and $60. Come on, we need a 1/6 scale version of this Eevee. Right, next up, we have Asuna from Suck Ass Online by Cute Creator Studio. What? This is in euros. Let me change it to US dollars. This is not cheap. This should be close to 400 US, I think. Yep, $406. So the lower edition without that mess of a base is going for $235 and the high edition is $406. But what do you guys think about the face? Because it looks really weird over here. It looks like the entire face is shifted to one side. I know it could be a matter of viewing angle, but every other figure brand out there on the genuine side does not have this problem with her face. Even though the hair may be getting in the way of her eyes. So, this looks so weird. Right? This is okay, from this angle, it looks a little bit better, but her arm is blocking her face. It is such a shame because the rest of the figure looks incredible, but they just had to screw up the face. I'm not sure how to describe this, man. It is like if I were to turn the figure around a little bit more, like turn it towards the left side a little bit more, then maybe the face will look a lot better. I'm not writing this figure off yet. Maybe these pictures are not the best pictures. They need to capture pictures of the figure from a better angle, but based on these official product pictures at the time of filming this video, it looks a little bit off. Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next one. Wow. Another cultured figure, Genshin Impact Shenhe from Murloc Studio, the same one that did that Boa Hancock figure earlier. The same compromised position, which I couldn't show much, but think of it as a Hadaka Shenhe figure for $233, which is not cheap, but I think the base is responsible for it. Releasing in September 2026. So the face looks fine, but I couldn't zoom in anymore, low resolution pictures. Moving up to the next figure over here, we have CYZ Studio 2B from Nier Automata, and they also have Code Geass CC over here. These are 1x4 scales, so that is pretty cheap. CC is going for $235, 2B as well, and you can get both for $403. Okay, this is not as detailed as your typical 1x4 scale statue, but at the asking price of $235, not complaining. It is very unique. Alright. Wait, hold on. No, this is not 1x4. This is 1x6. 35 centimeters, including the effect parts. I think OSGK has mislabeled this figure. This is a 1x6. Yeah, I thought $235 for 1x4 is a bit too good to be true. Oh, this CC looks amazing. I think I would choose CC over 2B for this figure. They have all these scars on her body, very artistic looking, and the face is beautiful. So I think getting two figures with the same exact pose and base does not make much sense, and there are so many 2B figures out there to choose from, so in this case, I will take CC. This is very nice. Oh man. Right. Moving on to the next one here. Cast Design Studio is back. Yep, collab with the artist Dish. 2B from Nier Automata. This is very nice. Oh, the face is so pretty. And going for $431, which is a great price for a 1x4 scale. Releasing in December 2026. How can such a simple character design look so elegant and beautiful, man? This is beautiful. So we have a diorama base that does not waste too much space. We have a nice huge weapon over there and a Bishoujo, a pretty girl. This is a perfect package of 2B. As long you want something that looks a little bit different from her usual black dress, this is very nice. Yeah. Moving up next, this is an update from last week, Stellar Blade E from Coolbear Studio, and I have already pre-ordered one. Yes, I've already pre-ordered one and placed $134 of deposit. So now we have a price, version A with DLC, $504, this one right here, $504. So when you see with DLC, it means that you're getting a second head, right? With open eyes. The one on the left over here, this is the DLC and only the head. The default figure is this one over here with closed eye. And I know that a lot of you will want a figure of her with open eyes, which I also do want that. But I feel like given the pose of this E figure, the closed eye looks a lot more natural. It looks more artistic in a way, you know? Yeah, it matches her pose very well. So I think this is a figure where you will want to have both head sculpt. So go for the one with DLC, right? So this is version A. Version B is this one over here, basically a cheaper version, smaller base. And you can have her for $357 with DLC, with the open eye head sculpt. And then version C over here, yeah, this one over here in this black color suit, which is very nice, and I wouldn't mind having this, but these statues are so big and they occupy so much space, so I don't feel like buying two figures of the same character with a similar pose, you know. Otherwise, ideally, I would get this one, the simple base version, and display her with an open eye or a closed eye head sculpt, and then I display a second figure of her with the green suit earlier with the different head sculpt again. So I get to display both, right? Ideally. So this one is going for $352. Yep, $352 with the extra head. And version D is this green color suit with this base over here, but at 1/6 scale. It is like a special 1/6 scale version for people who do not want statues that are way too big. So this one with DLC is $374. So when I saw the price between 1.4 and 1.6, the difference is $130, right? Not a big difference because $130 is the amount of deposit you're placing if you pre-ordered the version A. So I would go for 1/4. Yes. So I have pre-ordered one. If you want one, better pre-order it early. Yeah. Coolbear Studio, like I mentioned last week, their 2B is amazing, and their deluxe version of 2B in black color outfit has completely sold out even in Taobao. So the value is just going to keep going up. If you go for the simpler version, you can still find plenty of it in stock and even heavily discounted. But yeah, deluxe versions like this in 1/4 scale, pre-order it early. Moving on to the next one, Goddess of Victory Nikke again. This is 8 or other or 8, right? By Qianbeng Ying Gong Zhao Studio. $170 for this bunny girl. With that base over there, it's not bad at all, and releasing in March 2026. And this is a close-up look of her face, which is beautiful, excellent. So I hope that they do not mess up the face, because if they do, then this figure would be plastic waste. Yeah, the face on this figure is so important. Everything else is very nice already. They just need to get the face right. Next up, we have Migin Studio Siren from Honkai Star Rail, $187, June release. So there are two Siren figures this week. This is the one I prefer, and it is quite a good price at under $190. The face is also, yeah, spot on. So Migin Studio is a brand that I talk about almost every week at this point. They are pushing out really good figures. I don't have any complaints. Not the best third-party brand. Definitely not the best, but you know, the prices are quite reasonable. So yeah, not a bad pre-order. So to me, Siren is just Alicia. Alicia, but in a different game, in Honkai Star Rail instead of Honkai Impacted. And here we have a second Siren figure over here. This is way too much. It is like paying $200 for the figure and $300 for all of the effect parts. This is way too much. Wasting so much space for no reason. It would be a different story if it was a 1/4 scale figure, but you're getting a 1/6 scale figure with the footprint of a 1/4 scale. This is by Hakimi Studio, which is also a very good brand, to be honest. Just that this is unnecessary. However, they do have a standard version over here, which is a lot better, I guess, you know, for $331, which is still almost double the price of the Migin Studio version earlier, and deluxe version is this nonsense. Okay, so let's have a closer look. I just want to see what her face looks like. I can't zoom in much, but this brand has a good track record. I doubt that they would mess up her face. The colors are so vibrant. I love it so much, but This is so overkill. Moving on to the next one here, we have Blue Archive Sukatsuki Ryo. She appears to be a favorite character among third-party brands. This is by Bast Studio, $191 for those big badongas on the chest. And releasing in September 2026, but too bad you can't cast it off. But her face looks pretty good, and in my opinion, third parties do not necessarily mean they have to be castable. I pre-ordered Stellar Blade Eve just because she looks amazing. She doesn't need to be Hadaka at all, right? So this one, the face looks pretty good, just that I hope that Bast Studio delivers. You can taste the chocolate on her Opai. This is like a Valentine's Day special figure to me. Yeah. Just that she's coming out in September instead. The next figure over here, Spider Studio has Yinlin from Wuthering Waves at 1/6 scale, $233, September release. So the face on this looks very nice, just that this is just a fan service figure with the Opai barely covered. And I think there is an Azur Lane figure with a very similar outfit. Not as exposed, but similar outfit. Releasing in September as well. So the face is pretty good, just that there is another third-party brand that did it better with this character. Of course, I don't remember that brand's name because there are too many third-party brands, but you can always search for Wuthering Waves on OSGK and you're definitely going to encounter that figure in their list. So this one is fine, but there are better options out there. Hopefully pre-orders have not closed yet. And the last figure for this week, Blue Archive. I should have grouped this figure together with that Sukatsuki Ryo earlier. Anyways, Lollico Studio is back with Sorasaki Hina, $153. Version A and B, I believe it is barrel leg or stockings, right? Version A and version B, yep, there we go. So tough choice because both of them look pretty nice. I think barrel fit will be a lot nicer over here because, yeah, lolly fit. So Lollico Studio, their stuff are cheap, for at least for resin figures, their stuff are pretty cheap and they sell out very quickly. So much so that even before the official resin figure gets released, you see bootlegs appear for $20. Yes, it is insane. So Lollico Studio stuff, their Blue Archive stuff, if you want it, pre-order very early. Don't wait, right? Face on this looks very good. Yup, no complaints from me. We did have a very cultured figure of her last week, right, in bikini, but this one is not bad either. And she is doing this pose over here. I'm a bit concerned about leaning over time, right? I mean, the ankle is pretty narrow. I hope that the figure is not too heavy on top. Otherwise, the ankle region might start leaning or bending over time, especially in hotter climates. And that is all for this week's figure pre-orders, a very heavy week. Which one will you pre-order or which one will you buy after release? Let me know down in the comments below. Will you pull the trigger on that Owari figure that cost over 50,000 yen? Insane. So I hope that you found this video today to be helpful and informative. If it is, please to give this video a like, subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content every week. And until then, I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching and goodbye.